be. Ink-stained hands, open door, pull up a chair, there's room for more. Slow-made stories, nothing stressed. Fold your heart into the mess. Stay a while, no second guess. Come on in, sugar pepper press. Paper worn from what it seemed, truth tucked in the in-between. Quiet work.
Hey guys, this is Christine from Sugar Pepper Press, and today I have for you a new folio designed by me from the bottom to the top, and I am so excited to show it to you. So it's from the Be My Galentine collection, and this folio is called A Letter Kept. And that is because it is going to look like a letter when it is finished, and I love it so much. So let's get started creating. It is very easy and fast to put together. You will get a blueprint like this. Yours will hopefully print out much cleaner than this because this is from my old printer and it's just, yeah. So, but this will kind of give you an idea of like what it looks like completed, what it looks like empty and closed. And so let's get started. So you have a ton of ephemera. You also have a lot of pockets, and I have gone ahead and inked everything. You've got tags, and it's just a fun folio. So there's lots of cards, tags, fussy cuts. I didn't even count how many pockets were in this thing. You've got some photos. So the idea for this came from just this whole collection of where, how we have like these friends and they're just close. They're like kindred spirits. And so this is something that you could give for, like there's bookmarks. You could give for...
Your dryer is done.
Y'all. I got through one video without the dryer going off. That one has not come out yet. So anyway, this is for like things that you could put, things that you want to remember with your friend and just a special little gift. So that is what this is for. So let's put it together. So you have an inside base and an outside base, and there's 3 panels. Panel 1, 2, and 3, okay? And so we're going to start by putting the inside together, which is this. And we're going to take our, so the inside is all like this, okay? Super, super easy to put together. So we are just going to put glue along the tab here. I have inked everything. Did I say that already? I've inked everything, scored everything, and burnished everything. I do that while I'm watching a show, usually at night with my husband. So we're just putting this on here. Okay, and then this is going to go on this side. So this is panel 1. It's just that one rectangle strip. This one has tabs. This one has the flap. Maybe probably should start trying to remember to put the lid on that thing because it's feeling like it doesn't want to come out. Okay, so the front of this is done, and we're gonna let it sit there for a second. Now, the next part, these are done. There's 3 different backing papers. This goes on the inside, so it doesn't matter what you use. But the next part, we're gonna go right here. And I'm gonna do this in sections. Like you could put the front together and then the back together and then glue them together. I find it a little bit easier, and if I would have thought about this a minute ago, I would have done it differently. But I'm not gonna stop this and re-record because that's not how I'm playing the game this year. Anyway, so I would probably glue these 2 pieces together and then do the panels. But it's however you feel comfortable using glue. Okay, that's really what this comes down to. And it just is like not cooperating as much as it was. I hope the lighting is okay. I have a lot of lights on right now, including 2 ring lights, and it is very overcast. I have a very open space up here, but it is very overcast right now, and it's been raining all day, and so it's just not bright outside. Holy cow, it's going to take me 10 years to put the glue on. Let's just get our big thing of fabric tape out. This is printed on 110-pound cardstock. I have been using a different cardstock for like tags and things like that. But it was very late last night when I was cutting this out, and I just didn't want to mess with changing out papers. So I didn't, and I'll probably end up regretting that, but oh well. So I'm just lining these 2 pieces up right there. Okay. The reason I'm using a heavier cardstock for like my tags and all of that stuff, cards and everything, is because I find that it just is easier to put in and out of pockets. The wear and tear is better on it. And I'm kind of a paper snob, so it just makes me happy to have that really nice thick cardstock. It's 250 GSM. What does GSM stand for? Grams something something. Alexa, what does GSM stand for?
I found 3 things that GSM can stand for. 1. Global System for Mobile Communications.
Not that.
2. Grams per square meter.
Probably.
3. Gender or sexual minority. By the way,
No.
you got a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
Alexa, stop. Oh. Yeah. Okay, not that. Okay, so now my panels go opposite. Okay. So I'm just going to use this. Grams per square meter. You know, I think I mentioned this in one video, but I really think that the rest of the world had a good idea when it came to how they do paper and like the whole A4 system, however many A's there are. A0, I think it starts out as. Everything is doubled or halved. And I think that's just a smart system. I think it's very modular, and I like modular. And we don't do that here. And it kind of drives me crazy. But that has nothing to do with GSM. But, okay, here we go. Now we're turning this around, and this one's going this way. And that is the flap. Okay. And that is all I'm going to use that for right now. Okay. See how much easier it is to me. It's just way easier to line them up when you're just doing a little section at a time. If you've watched a previous video of mine, I think it was the cabinet waterfall. I just kind of had trouble with lining it up, and I didn't like that. So this just lines up perfectly. So I'm glad I did it the way I did it. And so, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Now, before we move this, before we start moving this, because we need to come in and reinforce these folds. So before we do that, though, we are just going to let it sit for a second. And out of the way. Okay. So let's talk about our pockets. Okay, so the corners, these are like corner pockets. I think they would technically be tuck spots because they only have two sides glued down, but that's going to go in my dictionary of junk journal ideas for pockets and tuck spots, and then you have envelopes, and those are different things, but a lot of times we use them interchangeably, so they aren't the same, but I'm also a word nerd. This is going to go on the corner, and these are going to get stacked. Now on the stacking, I will say, I'll show you how I have them in here, okay? How I have them, how I meant for them to be done. You can do whatever you want. You can literally do whatever you want because almost everything here is about the same size. So you could put this over here, okay, if you wanted to. This kind of reminds me of my custom craft folio. That was kind of like a choose your own adventure. I didn't do a video on that. So anyway, you could just move these around if you wanted to. These two are the same exact size. Okay. So, or you can do it this way. Okay. The idea here though is that this gets stacked up towards the top and overlapping a little bit. Okay. And at the so then your photos are going to go here. Now, I don't want my photo to come down real far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually glue a little bit further up. So let's do that now. I'm not going to do it I'm not going to start with that one. That would be a bad idea. I'm going to start with the bottom one. I did a prototype on this, of course. I always do. But I never like measured this. I was just like eyeballing. So there's not like a right measurement exactly for this. However, I do have a pencil here, so I'm going to mark where I have decided it's going to go. I'm just going to put little a little line there, and then here I'm going to put a line here to show me where that's going to hit, and a line here to show me where that's going to hit. Okay, let's glue. So I'm going to put some glue down here on this side, and then normally, you know, I would go here. I'm going to go a little bit further up. That way my pocket or my photo doesn't go quite so deep. Now, can I see? Thank goodness for straight paper, right? Okay, there we go. And you could, if you do that, you could just bump it up like a millimeter and then cover that little line right back up. Okay. So, think of what I had. Oh, I had here.
This one doesn't
I'm gonna go here and here, and I'm gonna do about the same. Okay. There we go. And you'll notice that these don't have gussets. It's because I wanted everything to really stay in the pocket well. This is large enough to where you could take a, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to include it. Okay. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Okie dokie. I'm going to erase that because I didn't go quite so far up. Just fine. And I'm going to let that dry. Now for the inside, I love this color palette. It's just such a fun, interesting color palette. Not really typical. Okay, and this one has gussets because there's more that goes in here. I'm gonna put, so you want to bump that, and you just want to make sure that it is pushed all the way over so that it doesn't overlap right here on past your seam. Because even though there is a spine built in, there's multiple spines, even though there is, you just don't want to impede this closing. So that's going there. And then this one is going right here. Okay, so I'm going to put my, tuck this down a little bit more. Okay. Okay. And then we're bumping that right up to the edges. So we're bumping it up to the spine here, and then we're bumping it at the top and bottom. Okay. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I am going to include in this, it's not in there currently, so it doesn't show up on here, but I'm going to go back and change it. And I'm going to actually include a letter that is literally shaped to fold into thirds in case you want to add a letter in here, and it will fit right here. So there is that. Now, I'm going to let that sit for a second. You know what? Before I do that, I'm just going to glue this down because that way it can just all sit at the same time. And then we'll do our reinforced folding, burnishing, and make our other pieces. Okay, so this one is going to go right on the outside pocket. And these are the same size pocket, so if you would rather have this one on the inside and then the other one on the outside, you can do that. Okay. Okie doke. So we're gonna let that dry and we're gonna move it out of the way. Now, then I have these cute things for you. I have, everything is kind of meant to be taller. Okay, you've got some bookmarks. You could do some cute things on here. You could write on the back of them. But there's two, one for you and one for your friend if you want. Okay, and then with these, I have made these tall library pockets. think I wanted this one. These are similar, but not exactly the same. This one has a bit more green. This one has a bit more pink. So I'm going to do this one on here. And okay. And then there's this one. Not sure if I burnished this last night. Okay. Okay, so I have these library pockets. And then I have these adorable library cards. So there's like plenty of space to write on here. They tuck in there. Okay, now let's go in and do some burnishing now that this has had a little bit of time to dry. So I'm just tucking this in and folding this up. Okay. Okay, that is good. And this, because of this extra kind of reinforcement, should stay really well. Look at that great spine. I love a good spine, y'all. I really do. They make me happy when things work the way that they should. Your folios should not be bunchy. I may at some point offer this as a template in case you want to use whatever your own papers on there. Okay, that is good. And then we got one more. I let the dog out and she's still out there. And she doesn't want to be. We have a porch that's covered, so she's not being rained on. Y'all call them porches? I'm curious. Do you have a porch or do you have a patio? I think everybody here calls them porches. My dream is a big wraparound porch. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's tuck this and fill it up. Actually, before we do that, let's glue this down. So what I have here for you to seal the deal on this is I gave you 2 different little wax seals on here. So you can choose which one you want. Now, what I would recommend is whichever one you want showing, you glue that on the outside, and whichever one you don't, you can put it on the inside, okay? So you can glue them together, and I just think that it will offer better reinforcement for holding that flap down, especially because you are using 2 layers of cardstock there. And they're wax sealed, so they're not shaped exactly the same, but you could trim it off, or you could practicing with me and let it just be the way it is. Because I literally made that up on the cuff, like gluing it together and just having it be that way. Okay, so what do I want? Oh, I love that. Also love this. Okay. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to go with this. I love the heart. I love this caramel color. So all you're going to do here is you're going to just put glue halfway down and then glue it down, okay? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue halfway down. Yeah, that'll be enough. And then I'm just taking it, and I want to make sure that my glue doesn't end up on the flap here. And I'm just holding that on there for a second. Okay, and then I'm just going to lift this up, and there's no glue here, so I did it right. Okay, and then I'm just holding that down. So there's no like perfect placement on here. You just have to feel it, okay? So let's open this up and fill up this baby. Okay, I'm going to put, first thing I'm going to put, I've got my two little library cards here. And then I've got my photos here. So on photos, I'm just sliding these in right here. I did not reinforce these. That is definitely what I would recommend, reinforcing these. If you do use 110-pound cardstock, I would reinforce these. And by reinforce, I mean you can just print one of these backing papers on it, and you could just print that page and then just glue it directly onto the wrong side and then cut around it. I need to do a video on how to do that on Silhouette. I need to have a piece of paper here. I'm going to write that down right here. What did I just say? Silhouette doubling. There. Then I'll know what that means. Okay, so on here, I'm going to put one of my bookmarks. This needs some thread. This needs some yarn. Not thread, not yarn. You could make a little bookmark, a little jute bookmark here. Scissors. There you are. Can somebody get the dog? Okay. So cute. And then I've got some cards. There's one there. I've got some tags. I would recommend putting some little things. I've got some fussy cuts. So look, it's a little gift bag. Goodness, it's so cute. And let's do these here. This one here. I want something tall here, so I'm going to take one of these. Put that one over there. And then I'm going to do a little bit of decorating in here. So I've included for you some little stamps that I made here. And then I've got just some extra little ephemera label-y type things. And I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to put there's a little bit of space, extra space here. You could probably put a small piece of foam tape. I would test it first to see make sure it's not too thick, but could probably get by with a small piece of foam tape. This is a little further down than I really wanted it to be. I think I'll tuck. So cute. Okay. And I'm gonna do this one on the outside. So I think I'm gonna just put that one here. And then this almost done. And I'm going to put this one on the outside. These feel like terribly long. And I think I'll probably okay. So I'm going to tuck that. So we're just going to lift that up there. Goodness, how cute is that? And then I'm going to put it like it's going to be a real stamp. And then you could even do like a little address label for a friend. So a letter kept. That's what this folio is called. The actual like structure, I'm going to call it. A letter kept. And yours will have a letter that you could like fold in thirds, and you can tuck it in that spot right here, and it'll fit perfect. So you can see this is it's very solid build, but it's not crammed. Like it's not bulky. It's not bulging anywhere. So I would love to know what you think of it. Super excited. It will drop in the store today. As soon as this video goes up, it'll be there. And I thank you so much for staying with me. I thank you for all the comments that you leave and just liking the channel and subscribing. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Scissors sing, pages breathe. Every scrap was meant to be. Ink stained hair.